And I want you to take a deep breath again. And this time, hold your breath. And slowly exhale and relax. Again, deep breath in. Hold your breath. Slowly exhale and relax. And here, take a deep breath and let out a gentle sigh as you exhale, letting it all out. I want you to continue breathing at your own pace and continue to relax as we start to dive into the story of Haru versus Set. The story starts where Set had murdered his brother Asar. And when Set murdered his brother Asar, he took over the throne of ruling Kemet. And in his time of ruling Kemet, there was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of imbalance throughout the kingdom. And Aset, who was the wife of Asar, mourned his death. She took his body, she mummified his body, and in the process of mummifying his body, she was then pregnant. And she had a child, and this child was Haru. Haru was set to defeat Set and reclaim the throne for his father, and to restore Ma'at, restore balance in the world. And when Haru was old enough to finally battle Set, he went into battle. And the battle was very fair. And then at one point, Haru was hurt badly. His left eye was damaged. And his left eye was then restored by Jehuti. And once Haru's eyes was restored, he was able to gain a sense of clarity and have a strong awareness of himself, and that helped him defeat Set. And that helped him to reclaim the throne and restore Ma'at, restore balance in all of Kemet. Now let's take a moment to bring this story into our own lives, into today's world. There are times that where we feel defeated. So we birth this newfound energy, newfound awareness of ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And we nurture this newfound self. And then when this newfound self is finally matured and able to take on the various obstacles that comes their way, we understand that as we start to become this new person, we're going to go through the ups and downs. We're going to come across many obstacles. But we have to stay strong. At times we might lose sight of things, just like Haru lost sight in his left eye. But then we restore that sight. We restore the importance of being connected and one with self. And then we take this newfound sight and we move forward, and we're able to overcome those obstacles and get through the chaos. And we restore balance within ourselves. We restore balance in the relationships that we have. We restore balance in our environment. The story of Haru versus Set reminds us that in order to achieve a strong sense of awareness, in order to achieve balance, we have to go through the chaos. We have to be ready to go into battle against all the chaotic things that we come across in our own lives. And we must not be afraid of the chaos. We must not be afraid of the darkness. Even when we feel that we've lost sight of things, we must understand just how bright our light is. And we use this light that shines within us to move forward in life and to reclaim this throne of a higher self, this throne that represents a beautiful connection to ourselves, this throne that represents happiness, clarity, love. We all have the power to attain the same energy that Haru did to go into battle against Set. And what's interesting about the story of Haru versus Set, Set wasn't necessarily punished. He was not banished from Kemet, but he became an important figure in Kemet later on because he was used as an energy that was important, of knowing that chaos is something that at times need to occur in order to bring some clarity to things. So again, embrace the chaos, embrace the darkness. Regardless of how much we avoid it, we eventually come across it. But we must shine our light. We must push through to achieve this level of balance, to restore Ma'at. Take a deep inhale and slowly exhale. As we are ending our practice, let's acknowledge the ancient Kemetic phrase Ankh Uja Seneb, life, prosperity, and health. May you all continue to live this beautiful life. May you all continue to prosper in this life, all in good health. And to close out, we will say Hotep, which means peace be unto you and peace be unto self. Hotep.
What a conquering morning, who doesn't care about poor people? What a conquering morning, who doesn't care about helpless people? We read the Bible and understand what it says. Dear Lord, it says. The hair that keeps on the wall, but I to see another man suffering doesn't make you feel happy. To see another man suffering doesn't make you feel great. When you see another man no food. We read the Bible and understand what it says. Dear Lord, it says, dear Lord, it says, hey, you're a Rastaman, hey, European, Indiana man, we gotta come together as one. Hey, you're a Rastaman, hey, European, Indiana man, we gotta come together as one. European, Indiana, we gotta go together as one.
What I'm cooking today is called fried bake in Trinidad. So in some Caribbean islands, they're called fried dumplings, but we call them fried bakes. When Mum eats this food now, it's a great memory booster. It's talking about food, and fried bakes is one of those things. So my mom, if you see her now, what you see is an older lady. She's 88 years old. She was 88 at the beginning of September. But of course, she's had 88 years of life before today. If I was going to choose 3 words to describe my mother, my mom, so strong and family-oriented and energetic, but also very, she was a very warm mum. I found her very warm and loving. Mum had symptoms of dementia years before her diagnosis. And I decided to say to Dad, oh, can we go for a walk? I just want to talk to you about something. We went for a drive and I asked him if he'd noticed anything about Mum. And he said, yes, but I don't want to talk about it. My mum had a period of time in a care home previously. There was nothing there that could trigger her memories of being in the place that she loved, which she was born and grew up in, which was Trinidad. The food was tasty. It was European. The music was popular music, but it was European music. The appropriateness of the care that I think troubles many Black people who are thinking about care for their loved one. It's not in any way relevant. And I know that other cultures will say similar. You know, the Irish community might have a similar view, or if you were Turkish, or if you were, you know, of Asian origin. Yeah. There are times when I've needed support for myself, and that's really important if you're a carer of somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's, that you've got somebody you can turn to say whatever you need to say. This is hard, this is difficult, I'm tired, any of those things. I'm not tired yet, but if I do get tired, I know who to go to, and that's the key thing. Having those things in place, ready for when you really need them.
Yeah. Looking out across the nighttime, the city winks a sleepless eye. Hear her voice shake my window, sweet seducing sighs. Get me out into the nighttime, for walls won't hold me tonight. And if this town is just another, will you take a bite? And if they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why? It doesn't do me that way. Oh, I tell you why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? It doesn't do me that way. Reaching out to a stranger, electric eyes are everywhere. And I see that girl, she knows I'm watching. She likes the way I stare. And if they say why, just tell them that it's human nature. Why does it do me that way? If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why you not to do me that way? I love living this way. I love living this way. Ooh. Looking out across the morning, the city heart begins to beat. Reaching out, I touch your shoulder, dreaming of the street. And if they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why? It doesn't do me that way. Oh, why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? It doesn't do me this way. Why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Does it do me that way? They say why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Ain't nothing to me that way. No. Why? Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Do me that way. I love living this way.
Grand Risings, family, Grand Risings. Grand Risings family, Grand Risings family. Boy, what a beautiful risings is strong here. I'm telling you. Seek and ye shall find. I know that was a phrase that was what was bouncing around many a home, many a home. And it's true, you know. Seek and ye shall find. Let me tell you something. In the moment of seeking, the words and the actions that needs to be taken, all that you need is answered in the pathways of time, in the pathways of our lives. Even in my preparation of the day, it is not the thought of me bringing into existence that which I wish to bring to you. It is the fruits of life. The fruits of life. Those who are around me have all come to this moment, and our paths cross at this time. So there I impart my journey to your journey. Peace is our nature. Peace is our nature. We look to pour our libations, and we call upon those who have gone before, and we are in full appreciation as we sit amongst those who have been, who are present, and those to come. And we sit as equals. We sit as equals because as much as we learn, we teach. As much as we listen, we speak. As much as we receive, we give. Nothing is beyond any of our capabilities. Any one of our capabilities. We wish well to all. We wish well to all. Unfortunately, there are those who do not reciprocate that to us. So, no problem. Your path is not my path. And at some time, our roads will cross. And when our roads cross, there we shall meet. Until then, peace is your journey, because I know my journey is peace. Grand Risings family, Grand Risings family. Lines are open 0203 289 6504 of this time is when we are supposed to be in that seeking mode. I would like to go into a conversation this rising. Deep as it may be, but it is not deep really, because you know what happens is that some of the subjects that we cover here on the galaxy, at times it may seem that it's challenging. It seems that it's challenging, but in the challenge is to place yourself within that conversations. And we all have the ability to do this at all levels. If we wish to put our time or give our time to be within that conversation, be in the listening, be in the participation, I call upon all of you to participate in all of the programs that are here, in your listening. Share your views, your points of interest, whether you agree or possibly disagree. Maybe your thoughts could bring a new dynamics to the teaching, to the listening, to the speak. We are all here. We are a family. As I rise, you rise. And as you rise, I rise. So we rise together. We know that we emulate and we live into our statement and our adopted mantra of I am because we are. And because we are, therefore, I am. Ubuntu. Ubuntu. We live into that within all aspects. We love, we share, and even in our sharing, we do this. It may be, at times it may feel, oh, it's just an automatic thing. No, it's not just an automatic thing. It is the natural thing. The humane nature of our aspects of being who we are. I want to take a piece of a reading here today. It's rising here. Right? And it's something that we should be looking at, or we can be looking at and working upon over the next few strongs. The law of Amen, that is AMEN. We experience the influence of the nature, Amen, as the desire of peace. Desire can only be satisfied through the law of Amen. The goal of Amen law is to nurture peace through the understanding and experience that is our natural response to challenges. Where do you see peace? Where can you see peace? If you're challenged, is that your natural response? Is that your natural response? And even to seek it, how many different forms of conundrums that you have to go through to seek this? How many different ways and challenges and compromises or even rejections do you have to feel to actually attain this? But yet we know that is our true center of being what and who we are. Of being who and what we are. I read further. There are aspects of being that can be perceived: the physical body, emotions, sensations, thoughts, and consciousness. There is other aspects of our being that is imperceivable. Amen was the word that the ancient Egyptians used to denote the aspect of a man's and God's being. It is imperceivable because of the composed man, self-consciousness and will, which is devoid of energy and matter, and is the state of spirit prior to our differentiation or manifestation into the objective aspects of man's being, mind, soul, body, and conditioning. In other words, it is the original and essential state of being. Note that the definition given goes beyond Western psychology, concepts of the subconsciousness. The essential, important, and the absence of the energy matter of the self and the conditioning of the spirit is that the emotional experience that is associated with the state of the Amen in is a peace, hetep, and cannot be disturbed by any event in the world. This is why, and as I speak, I feel. This is why when we hear of the chaos that is happening, the chaos that others are experiencing, we of knowing and living in the state of continuous peace in our state are devoid of influence. We're devoid of those who are trying to bring a disturbance of chaos into our existence, even to the extent of where we could be amongst those who are speaking and living it, but it has no effect on us per se. You know that person that they say, look on her. It's like nothing really disturbs her. She's so cool and calm. It's like she's living in a different world. Just look at her. Everything it just seems so perfect about her. Why she feels so that she's so different than we? Peace is her nature. Look upon him now. Watch him. I'm a go on. Feel said that in big and bossy, so. Eh? Why? Him go on like him better than anybody. But yet, I see that he's speaking with everybody. He helps and he assists all. How comes him have so much time? How comes his life is so cha? We have no time for you, yeah. But yet, peace is his nature. Do not be fooled, though. Do not be fooled. Because sometimes the peace is challenged to such an extent of where it needs to be defended. It needs to be protected. And if challenged to such an extent, then the wrath of the peace shall come through until peace is re-established. All of your works, all of your actions move towards the peace within you and peace within others as well. We don't have to compromise. We don't have to compromise, but at all, in any way whatsoever. Remember that of what was. Remember that of what is, and that remember that of what will come. Let's play the game of life. GalaxyForWe.net. Lines are open 0203 289 6504.
Remember me in whatever you do. I love you. Remember you left for the city many years ago. Promised to come back and take care of us. Many years have gone by now. Still no sign of you. Yeah. Mother died of heart attack many years ago. When she heard that you are married again. Now I'm the only one left in the family. Remember me in whatever you do. I love you. Remember me in whatever you do. I love you. Wandering up and down the streets of Soweto, no place to call my home. I tried to find you many years ago, but the woman you married to was not good at all. Remember me. I love you.
So years ago, I was in Los Angeles about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was scouting locations for a music video, and I ended up in the desert. But this was at a time where, let me tell you, I was beyond burned out, stressed out. Like, I didn't have the energy, or I didn't even feel like I had the breath in me to take another step. Like, I could say I was probably close to depression, or I probably was, and I just don't want to admit it. And then I looked out far into the distance and I saw a beautiful home, and I said, that would be cool if one day I could afford to rent that and create in there, meditate, reflect, just be out here in the desert. Because to me, isolation like this is a luxury. It's beautiful how we can plant seeds years ago, watch them blossom years later. And I think it's really important we take time to have gratitude and reflect on that process. Because some seeds that we are planting, it could take a decade. But once it manifests, once it comes into fruition, make sure you have that moment to celebrate and to, simply have gratitude. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. I don't know. There's an energy about the desert that just aligns with my spirit. It's almost as if it just grants you automatic space to reflect and decompress. It's an energy out here. It's quiet, beyond quiet. Like I'm telling you, I don't think I've experienced such silence before, especially outside. You don't even hear a car. The only thing you feel is the warm wind, or you'll see like coyotes running around, or they have these crazy dust storms. There's a windstorm. It's happening. Okay, we passed past the house. Yeah, those are crazy. So it's beautiful. I've been coming out here and literally just taking my shirt off, letting the sun cook my melanin, and just stare off into the distance, because you literally see nothing. You just see land and mountains. But it feels like a liminal space. All you realize there is opportunity. So we are here filling that space with dreams, with visions, and going within and having the proper revelations we need so we can breathe into our next step and pour back into everything that we are doing. Let me show you what the place looks like.
Welcome. We're in Joshua Tree in the Moab Desert, and our beautiful white stone casted home. Fireplace is from 1958. It's not functional, but it's cute, and we like it. It's vintage, and it complements the cow chair. Kitchen. All of our drawers open and close.
With the view?
With a beautiful view of the desert.
It's quite windy out here, so my apologies if there's a lot of noise in the microphone. But as you can see, this is the back. We have an amazing outdoor deck living area out here. There's a lot of space at nighttime. These turn on, so it's like a beautiful amber light. And over here we have the pool. It's got a cover on it right now, so you can't quite see, but very beautiful. The fireplace over there. We've been lighting fires at night. It's been very good just to bond and, reflect. And then as you can see, the desert, it's relentless. It's nothing out here. It's amazing. We have my car over here. The reason why I actually picked this place was because they have a Tesla charger. So I could charge my car. They have Starlink. So this is the front of the house. Back home, I feel like I would need a little bit more space. But because there's so much space outside, you can literally expand as much as you want. It's perfect.
Bathroom is my favorite. I spend most of my time in here. This is actually glass. It's not stone. Favorite feature is this. Not like your typical.
Right. A little bit more of an aesthetic.
Actually, my favorite feature are the doorknobs. Beautiful detail. And then it has some organic artwork. Pretty sure this is cotton. and growth. Reading area.
So I turned the spare room basically into my podcast studio, my editing suite. Got everything I need here to create. That is the beautiful thing about, doing a road trip, is you can just bring a lot more stuff with you versus if you're flying on the plane. So I'm fully equipped to express myself if I feel the need to, and even stay on top of my digestive health, since May is Digestive Health Month, and we have our sponsor of the day, one of my absolute favorite products, Seed. So to celebrate spring and Digestive Health Month, I'm partnering with Seed to share in-season foods to support a healthy gut microbiome and overall digestive health. Now we're going to be making a quick snack with 3 ingredients to nurture our microbiome. Now we have asparagus, strawberries, and mint. Now asparagus is naturally rich in prebiotic substances, and particularly high in insoluble fibers, which supports regular bowel movements. We all need that. Now it's extremely hot in the desert, perfect weather for a strawberry mint smoothie. Now strawberries are rich in polyphenols, and let's be honest, they're delicious. Now, mint is considered a medicinal plant that exhibits multiple health beneficial properties, such as prevention of cancer development and anti-obesity. Now, at the end of the day, our inputs, such as food and probiotics, have a direct correlation to our output. Hint, hint, number 2. That's why it's so important to eat foods that are nourishing to our gut microbiome, while also taking a scientifically validated symbiotic. And the one that I trust most is Seed's Daily Symbiotic, a formulation that combines probiotics and prebiotics. It's vegan plus gluten-free. Most probiotics don't even make it all the way to your gut. So Seed, the Daily Symbiotic, delivers it to the place that matters most, your colon. So the 2-in-1 via cap delivery technology, capsule and capsule, it's quite beautiful actually. Protects against stomach acid, digestive enzymes, and bile salt for viability through digestion. So I want to give all my subscribers a special offer. Go to seed.com/Heinz and use code Heinz for 40% off your first order of Seed to support your digestive and whole body health. So I've been sitting here like every day for hours, just writing and looking at the mountains and just, and again, the desert is just an energy that offers, so much reflection, which is something that I needed. For a while, I wasn't feeling like myself, and I thought something was really wrong. Now, there were areas of my life that I had to fine tune and align, and become more present, and make sure that my mind, body, and spirit were going in the right direction. But then I realized sometimes we don't feel like ourselves simply because we are growing, and you got to give the new you a warm welcome. And that's what I realized I was going through, because every single day my mind was changing on so many different things. My beliefs, the way I see the world, it was evolving. I was contradicting different things that I once believed and fine tuning my perspective. And it was happening so fast. It was hard for me to talk about. I had to wait for the words to fully manifest within. And some of them haven't even. Some of them I'm still just waiting for my spirit to fully absorb and, be ready to share with y'all. But sometimes we don't feel like ourselves simply because we are growing. And that is a beautiful place to be, because growth, it's not always comfortable. It's not always certain either. There's a lot of uncertainty in that space. So being out here in the desert, I've been just reflecting on that growth. I've been reflecting on a lot of the misalignments I had over the past year. And I realized as well, misalignments are opportunities. Misalignments often remind us of where we should be. So it's an opportunity sprinkled with a blessing. We over romanticize being in alignment, but how would we ever know what alignment is if we didn't feel misaligned at times, right? So, the flies out here are crazy. Absolutely crazy, the flies out here. So I've been just embracing so much that has been happening and reminding myself that next time, make sure we give ourselves the grace to make mistakes. Give ourselves the grace to experiment. There is no point in crucifying ourselves just for mistakes. Because what are we going to do? We'll make mistakes, and then we'll learn, and then we will elevate. That is the process. So we have to welcome it. You are a living expression, which is perfection, right? Progress is perfection. And we
Yes.
just need to take space, create safe space, fill space with our energy, your beautiful energy, and take that time to plan, prepare, and plant new dreams. And that's exactly what I'm doing out here in the desert. Left Canada because Canada is weird right now, and I just needed a different energy, and we're enjoying ourselves out here. Let me tell you, if you've been feeling like you've been in a cage or you're stuck in your environment, don't worry, it can get a lot better. Like I told you, years ago, this was nothing but a dream for me to be able to come out here and really just enjoy like this and have such comfort. It was just a dream. I was in the desert ready to like get on my knees and cry 4 years ago. And now I'm here sharing with you, and I'm truly at comfort in my spirit, having beautiful revelations, working on the podcast, because again, the podcast is back Monday to Friday, daily experience. Make sure to check it out. Link in the descriptions. We're going to soar to new heights. Actually, oh my God, it reminds me of a card in the reminder deck. 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Got it. Clip your wings so a new set of wings can grow. That is exactly where we are right now.
Mhm.
Your old ways may not serve you in this new space. There are new heights to see, new views that stretch over the sea. Let me tell you, the views I saw of the sea on this trip, oh my God. There is a new way to simply be. Clip your wings so a new set of wings can grow. And that's what we are doing. Sometimes we are letting go of our old self so we can step into our new self, a new season. Sometimes we don't feel confident. I realized this the other day. Sometimes we don't feel confident, not because we don't have confidence, but because we stepped into a new space where there's more room for our energy to fill. Think about it like this. Let's say you have this job that you love and you show up to work, you execute, you're very confident in your job, you collaborate, everybody loves you. And then let's say, because you're so great, of course, like your energy is amazing, you get a promotion. Now, every single week, you have to do weekly presentations, lead the team, and once a month, you have to do a presentation and a report for the executives, public speaking. And this frightens you. Now you feel less confident. But the day before, you're very confident in your job. So what happened? You still have the same amount of confidence as you had before, but now you're in a new space where there's more room for your energy to fill. And to retrieve that confidence, you don't wait for it. You don't say, oh my God, I don't have the confidence. You say, oh, the confidence I need is in that space. So we are stepping into it. You understand? So if you have been struggling to have that motivation or have that confidence, sometimes it's in there. You got to go into that orbit, into that space, and retrieve what is yours. And I can feel that a lot of us are simply in that season right now. And I think quarterly, we had to make sure we give ourselves some space to simply decompress, right? Do a self audit on ourselves. What is still in alignment? What is still serving me? Do I still believe in this? Because it's completely okay to change and it's okay to stay the same. You may be in the right position already, but it's good to create the environment just to reflect and develop that sense of direction. Now, like I was saying, I was in a little bit of a funk for a while, but I realized, oh, sometimes we don't feel like ourselves simply because we are growing. And all you got to do is welcome that growth. Give the new you a warm welcome. I love it out here. I could kick with you all day, absolutely, but I need to go be even more present now, and just embrace this heat. First off, like my melanin is just like charged up. Like I've literally been no shirt the whole time I've been here. Like I deserve it. I'll see you in the next one. I'll be out here for a little while, and then I'm also going to Africa. Again, we're gonna create experience.
a plan.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Your dreams are there.
So I won't ever fear no evil. A peaceful man say he must stand. According to your works, you'll get paid. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Touch not the Lord anointed. Neither do his sons no harm. Check yourself, man, can't you understand? Jah Rastafari is the living one. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Can't you hear me when I say, oh yeah, oh yeah. Back with Satan with your evil ways. You can't tarry cause your days are numbered. Touch not your Lord's anointed. According to your works, you'll get paid. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Don't believe me when I say, oh yeah. Yeah. Saying, Jah is my strength and my everything, so I won't ever fear no evil. Say a peaceful man must stand. According to your works, you'll get paid. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Believe me when I say, oh yeah, oh yeah. Touch not the Lord anointed, neither do his sons no harm. Check yourself, man, can't you understand? Jah Rastafari is the living one. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Believe me when I say, oh yeah, Hey. Can't you see that I'm a peaceful man? I don't trouble no one. Oh, yeah. 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 Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Tell you.
Believe me when I say, oh yeah, oh yeah. Touch not the Lord anointed.
There are some times when you know you touch down upon things of time of past and why. What a beautiful time, what a beautiful space that we had. And you know, in the conversations of time that we've had, you know, I tell you, we can't deny our piece in history, in our story, you know, in our story. Because time is always the master. Time is the master. And then we look onto the youngs, them, you know. And then looking at them, and we're thinking, boy, listen, we don't want you to be going down the same that we did as well, you know. So let me give you a piece of something. Let me give you a piece of something right here, right now. You know, here's a shortcut. Let me tell you a shortcut in our life, you know. And then there will be those who be listening. And with those who were standing there in appreciation, and then when they turn around to you and say to you, when that person, that youngs turn around and say to you, you know, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that just the other day. I was just thinking about that the other day. And there you are. You just come and just say this to me right now. And you say, thank you. They just say, thank you. And you just emphasize, make sure that them have it in them head, what that shortcut in life can be. You know? Life is for enjoyment. Life is for enjoyment. We have the key to the perfect life. We have the key right now. It's just for you to just turn that key. Turn it and open the door of your next movement, man. Sure. Telling you. GalaxyForWe.net. I don't trouble no one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. At the top of the hour, shall be our brother. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, I never let you go. Yeah. Not today. Not today. That's our Freddie McGregor. Days are past, man. Days are past. I tell you, I remember when we used to buy the album. We used to buy an album, and it would be stuck on the turntable until the next one come. It'd be stuck, played over and over and over and over again until the next album come. Remember them, did they? Why? I'm telling you, what a beautiful, as I keep saying, what a beautiful time that we've had and the times that we are having, you know? And it still fascinates me sometimes, you know, when you see some of these clips, right? And then, you know, you see these youngs and they have the cassette. You have the tape cassette and the cassette player. And then you say to them, you know, because this is not the music, you know, you just have the music on the tape. And the youngs will just look at you in like Finook saying, what the is that? You know, and there are some youngs who just haven't got a clue. They don't have a clue what it is. And then we just put the thing in, and then we press the play on it, and then we put the headphones on them. And they just, what? And they say, yeah, see, that's when the music that we used to play upon this. Even sometimes when you see, oh, we turn vinyl, or we use vinyl record, you know. And someone that just look upon that as if it's a phenomenon. What the is that? You know? But these are the things of the development and life, as we were discussing yesterday on the program, you know, on the Blacknificent show yesterday, that we are the ones that have brought and bring technology through. You realize, say, a lot of the the sound systems were built exclusively by the sound men. They literally built their speakers. They literally built their amplifiers. They built their equipment so that they could make that sound, right? Even the mixing sound boards and everything, these were personalized instruments that was built and invented by, you understand? They were invented and built and functioning in such a way that it produces the music that we just take for granted right now, right? Even to the effect of where I was shown that on a handheld device like a phone, they had a full mixing studio in an app, in an application, and then in their palm of their hand, a full mixing studio. Yeah. This is how life has changed, how life has developed. Don't get left behind. Don't get left behind. Listen, we do love nostalgia, right? Some of us hold on to it, like myself. Some of us hold on to it a lot longer than others, right? But even though we hold on to it that much longer, does not mean that we do not appreciate the new development, right? Just like the innovativeness of the different musical genres as they go through their transitions, as music goes through its transitions. We move along with that as well, because we find our form of expression within that, using those different instruments. And then all of a sudden we come through, and then, whoa, look what we've produced. Look what we produced. We may not be the financial recipients of it financially, but the accolade, the technological leaps and bounds, and the expression of connectivity of technology to human. We are the ones who have been responsible for that over years. Over years. How many of us have actually picked up an instrument and just played, or just learned to play? I did that with the guitar. I was playing the guitar for nearly 2 years before I even had a lesson. Right? I was playing by ear. I didn't know what even now I can't read music. I mean, I know what reading music is, but if you tell me, oh, do this chord, that chord, whatever, I could amble through. Right? Admittedly, I haven't picked up a guitar for a very long time now. Very, very long time. So my fingers may not be as dexterous as what they used to be, but it's still there. It's still there. Extremely rusty, but it's still there. And this is the beauty of what we have. We have this. We have that creativity within us. You have that creativity within you. Right? Because I know, say, when lip service come, Uno can swing some lips out there, see? You can swing some lips. You know? So, why is it that we are not doing this for our lives? Why is it that we don't see that we need to come together like an orchestra to produce the sound of unification? Why is it that we are not doing this? Galaxy after we got it. Huh? Tell you. Come here. Come here. Come in night, man. Cha. Come in night. Freddy. Go on again.
See the roots them skanking and everybody rocking. Your rubber dub keep playing, dance all around and everywhere jump. The roots man skanking. Everyone just a rock to the rhythm. Roots man skanking. This your rhythm make you dance and skip. Oh, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. The people keep calling for more. DJ say I'm gonna play it forward. The people them rock, the people them dance all cock, and the people them get hit. The roots man skanking. Everyone just a rock to the rhythm. Roots man skanking. This your rhythm make you dance and shake. Oh yeah, roots man skanking. A big top ranking. Watch him man skanking. One more day. The people keep falling for more. DJ say I'm gonna play it forward. The people them rock, the people them dip, dance all cock, and the people them get hit. The roots man skanking. Everyone just a rock to the rhythm. Roots man skanking. This the rhythm make you dance and sing. Roots man skanking. Everyone just a rock in the rhythm. Roots man skanking. This your rhythm make you dance and sing. Everybody rocking. Rubber dubber playing. That's all rum and I everywhere jam. Everyone skanking, rocking and dipping. The roots man skanking. Everyone just a rock to the rhythm. Roots man skanking. This your rhythm make you dance and skip.
Switch. Brother Johnny. Come in there.
Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Excuse me while I lock my speed. Gone, I got a day to leave.
What you say? What you saying again? What you mean Bob sing this one? Everybody used to sing everybody, yeah? Cool yourself, man. Cool yourself, man. Sure. Let the brother sing. Go on, Billy. Go on, Johnny. Go on, Johnny.
Easy skanking.
Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Excuse me while I light my spit.
God, I gotta take a leave. From reality, I just can't dream. That's why I'm staying with this dream. Take it easy. Take it easy.
You're not supposed to be having so much fun at this time of the morning. Mind you stepping off as you step through the door. You might spin and turn around and get back in your bed.
Take it easy. Excuse me while I light my spit. But God, I gotta take a leave. From reality, I just can't dream. That's why I'm staying with this dream. Take it easy.
Truly blessed, man. Truly blessed on this rising. King, man.
Take it easy.
Queen. Forward with your things, man. Forward with your things, man. Go on. One more Johnny Clark.
Oh, please, don't you go away. Oh, please don't have that way. Oh, please, I'm begging you to stay. 'Cause you know that I need you, my dear. Oh, you are my soul and my inspiration. You are my God to get me by. You are my soul and my inspiration. Without you, baby, what could have done? Oh, yeah. Please, don't you say goodbye. Oh, please don't leave me to cry. Oh, please, don't you run away from me. Oh, please don't leave me in misery. Oh, you are my soul, my inspiration. You are the God to get me by. You are my soul, my inspiration. Without you, baby, what could have done? Oh, yeah. Oh, please, don't you say goodbye. Oh, please don't leave me to cry. Oh, please, don't you run away from me. Oh, please don't leave me in misery. Oh, you are my soul, my inspiration. You are my God to get me by. You are my soul, my inspiration. Without you, baby, what good am I? Oh, yeah.
Everything worthwhile is uphill. Your dreams are there, your hopes are there. Most people, they don't lead their life, they accept their life. Here's the issue. Most people, they have uphill hopes, but they have downhill habits. And you can't go uphill with downhill habits.
It's pretty easy to get the mindset that there's nothing you can do about it, that you're overwhelmed, that you can't change the world. Well, you know what you can change? You can change you. You can change your world. And if you change your world and you make yourself better and you make your part of the world better, the rest of the world will follow.
Good intentions are overrated. I know so many people, well, I'm going to do that. Yes, I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. So good intentions are the most overrated phrase in the world. Nothing happens until you've got good actions. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my gosh, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things, they ain't happen. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it.
Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. Weakness haunts us all. The times we could have done more. They eat at your self-esteem. They rob you of your self-respect. They diminish your belief in your potential. The true art of a full life is to minimize those moments when your weak thoughts win the battle and maximize your ability to rise and grind. Most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, rise and grind. If you wanted to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. And sometimes if you're going to be successful, it's not how smart you are. It's not how strong you are. It's how much you can outlast stuff.
Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself. Get out here and get about it.
Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it. Some of y'all, you not getting close to the vision. You done said the vision and your mama said something about it, so you done backed off. You done said something about the vision and somebody tried to kill you and you done backed off. Are you hearing what I'm trying to tell you? I'm telling you that you gotta be possessed with the vision.
You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do. So you've got to work on it. When other folk are having a good time, you've got to have the strength of character to concentrate, to read, to digest information,
to be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. What you need to be doing is studying.
While they was golfing, I was studying. While they was shooting hoops, I was studying. While they was playing games and sitting up and eating and joking in the restaurant, I was studying. You have to put your everything, your mind, your energy, your effort, your discipline. Nothing is going to jump out the fire if you don't throw something in there. It's not going to happen.
I got to commit my very being to this thing. I got to breathe it. I got to eat it. I got to sleep it.
You got to begin with the end in mind. So whatever your dream or your goal is, you got to wake up every day to it. You got to go to bed with it. You got to read stuff. The music you listen to, everything you do, got to pour into that dream.
You got to stay focused on your dream. Don't allow anyone to pull you off the game plan.
When they're having fun, you grind. When they're chilling, you work your ass off. When they're getting lit, you put in more work. And when they're wishing for a better lifestyle, you'll be living it.
Ain't that true? Ain't that the truth? Hey!
Like sweet morning dew, I took one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny.
Lines are open 0203-289-6504. God, Terror.
Come on, baby. Use the wheel. You're all I need to get by. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, like a nigga protects his nest. For you, I'll do my best. Stand by it like a tree, and everybody to try and move me. Darling, in you I found strength where I was torn down. Don't know what's in store. Together we can open it door. Come on, darling. Inspire you a little higher. You can't make it out of the soul that I'm on. Cause we got the right sound. It's enough. You're all I want. I'm going through it. All the joys I love is on your door. You're all I need. You're all I need. You're all I know to get by. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, I do. Oh, baby. Oh, I feel. You're all I need. You're all I want. Oh, your love.
Embodies.
Great question. Empiricism.
Keep on loving me.
In other words, there's a dictum of saying that experience is the best teacher. I disagree. Experience of other people is the best teacher. Meaning you don't have to go through it in order to learn from it. This is how it happened. African peoples living in different ecologies. So I'll pick one ecology, dense tropical forest. What they would do and have done and still do is observe which animals go to which plant and decide to eat it or stay away from it. The experiences of those animals tell you two things, broadly speaking. One is what plant life attracts certain animals and repel them, right? So this is great knowledge for what? Hunting. The other knowledge is what do they do with the plants, right? Are the plants, trees, or roots are used to clean? Is it used to as food? Is it used for medicine? And so that provides sort of a laboratory. Think of it as a research and trial and development, indeed, but in nature. And this brings me to a very important point, sort of like a important aside, which is that you don't have to kill an animal, cut it open to know the animal. Because that is decontextualized knowledge. A, the animal is not alive. B, the animal is taken apart. And yes, in terms of European and white, ways of knowing, they want to know at the molecular structure, but knowing is really decontextualized, right? They want to know the skin, the parts, the organs. But guess what? These Africans want to know in context, meaning the alive animals in their environment, in their habitat, being themselves. That's how you know, right? So there's decontextualized knowledge, right? Which has its place. Then there's contextualized knowledge.
Hold on, we gotta stop. That's a brilliant point when we think about it, right? Because in regards to being in their natural environment, then you will understand their natural behavior. But a lot of times with these research, they put them in an unnatural environment and trying to dictate the behavior, but it doesn't necessarily reflect their true behavior.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly. And so, and that's really, generally speaking, the sort of European-based approach to knowledge, that is knowing, which is that break things down to the most basic parts, name them, and then they, through that, they know the whole. But that you can't know the whole out of context. And so Africans say, their idea of knowledge is that in order to know something, we have to know the thing as part of its context, as part of its setting, on its own terms, in its own environment. And that requires what? Deep observation. That requires what? A respect for the natural world. That requires a partnership in the natural world, right? Not seeing nature as the enemy. And so there's a sense that there's a rhythm. And so that approach to knowing is quite different than the decontextualized, laboratory, breaking down the natural parts, and in that way, that knowing is always impartial and complete, right? And that's why all these clinical trials ultimately fail to deliver on the promise of a cure. The products that come out of that may relieve a symptom, but it creates other side effects. And people don't think about that. That is the knowledge production process for a clinical trial to bring a drug to market. Ultimately, is always partial, and it always backfires through the side effects, because the process of learning, of producing that knowledge that then becomes codified as a medical product or device is always what? From a very partial and essentially unholistic approach to the problem it seeks to address.
So before you continue, right, and I don't mean to change the argument, but when we analyze Black people in America, it's an inaccurate analysis because they're in an unfamiliar, hostile environment. So can we argue like people aren't acting in their true nature?
Indeed.
Due to their environment and their kind of...
Mm-hmm. Indeed. In fact, if by true nature you mean an ecology that is ancestral, right? Because we know that human genome, our genetic makeup, is always interacting with our ecology or environment. And so that interplay, that intimate relationship between ecology and our genome mean that over over millennia, over millions of years of maturation, and same for evolution, because that's a different thing, of maturation, right? You have coded bodies that are coded. So if you compare 500 years, a half a millennium, to 5 million years, that's not a comparison, right? In other words, we're not just simply the result of an adaptation or mutation to 300, 400, 500 years, let's say in the Americas. We have a longer genetic rope that binds us to millions of years of ancestral interaction with our ecology, which is to say that people from the dense tropical forests, let's say West Africa, into West Central Africa, who came to Jamaica or Georgia or New York or Philly or Philadelphia, or became these places, they would still have certain nutritional deficiencies, right? For example, in the West African forest, calcium was a deficiency. Why? Because there was no natural source great natural source of calcium. Because calcium requires, I think, magnesium and vitamin D to metabolize well. And so the forest canopy acts like an umbrella to block direct sunlight, right? That's why people in the forest tend to be short in stature, because, and they don't have a cow, because cows die in the forest due to tsetse fly. So there are microorganisms and that part of the ecology that essentially inhibits, right, consistent and sufficient sources of calcium, which means that their bones, right, don't grow as large. People in savannah who have cattle, who rear cattle, and have direct sunlight, right? And so people in the savannah tend to be tall in stature. Think about NBA players who come directly from Africa to the NBA. Tall in stature. They're from savannah areas, largely, right? Or non-tropical, dense tropical forest areas, right? And so ecology has a deep way which it affects people's being dislocated and being removed from those ecologies unconsensually, of course, in the case of African peoples here. And therefore, that does create certain mishaps. So, for example, I found it odd when I came from Jamaica to the United States, New York in particular, and I saw people drinking milk like water. We never drank milk like that. If we drank milk, it was used to make like what we call cocoa tea, right? And we used to scald it, meaning we actually would boil it, right? And we'd mix it with this cocoa. But that was like Sunday breakfast, right? But we never just drank milk with cookies, right? So the idea of cookies and milk was foreign to me, right? The idea of just drinking milk like we drink water was foreign to me. And that's because of the process of coming from, so my folks are from, what is now Ghana and Benin, right? They don't drink milk, right? And therefore, it explains also in terms of disease and bodily reactions to milk, why a lot of people of African ancestry are lactose intolerant. That's ancestral, right? So there is a lot of, environmental disease and ecological damage that have been wrought by the dislodging of people from the ancestral homelands, without choice and without their will. And that produces people who, again, their behaviors and their new normal reflects a certain kind of trauma and dislocation.
All right. I wanted to ask, is the knowledge of healing being preserved or is it dying?
Well, I got an odd response to you on that. It's being preserved, but it's not dying in the way that you think it's dying. It's dying because there's a mythology that when an elder or elders who have that knowledge base transition, that the knowledge dies. That's false and inaccurate. It's being preserved, but in a way that is not in a library, not in an archive. It's being archived in spirit. And so I speak to my grandfather regularly, right, who passed away in 87, excuse me. And so whatever I want to know, because I'm also a healer, and he was a healer, I'll ask him, I'll say, Grandpa or Papa, in fact, he's here right now. I can feel him in my head. Yeah. I'll say, Papa, how do I do this? I have a client who is experiencing this. What's the best way to do this? And he'll tell me. He say, well, get a bucket of water, get some castor oil, right? And have them bathe in this.
Respirar o amor, aspirando liberdade. Respirar o amor, aspirando liberdade.
Bom dia.
Quanto tempo tem pra matar essa saudade? Meu bem, o ciúme é pura vaidade. Se tu faz o tempo, logo traz ansiedade. Respirar o amor, aspirando liberdade. Tenho a vida doce, encabeço o mundo. Sou ariano torto, vivo de amor profundo. Sou perecida ao tempo, vivo por um segundo. Perdoa, meu amor, esse nobre vagabundo. Quanto tempo tenho pra matar essa saudade? Meu bem, o ciúme é pura vaidade. Se tu pode o tempo, logo traz ansiedade. Respirar o amor, aspirando liberdade. Tenho a vida doce, encabeço o mundo. Sou ariano torto, vivo de amor profundo. Sou perecida tempo, vivo por um segundo. Perdoa, meu amor, esse nobre vagabundo. Sou perecível tempo, vivo por um segundo. Perdoa, meu amor, esse nobre vagabundo. Perdoa, meu amor, esse nobre vagabundo. Perdoa, meu amor, esse nobre vagabundo. Quanto tempo tenho pra matar essa saudade? Meu bem, o ciúme é pura vaidade. Se tu faz o tempo, logo traz ansiedade. Respirar o amor, aspirando liberdade. Tenho a vida toda, vida azul. Sonhando todo, vivo de amor profundo. Sou parecida ao tempo, vivo por um segundo. Perdoa, meu amor, é um nobre vagabundo. Perdoa, meu amor, é um nobre vagabundo. Perdoa, meu amor, esse nobre vagabundo.
Sing.
The most revolutionary act a black man can do right now is to lead a black family. And when you're vetting your circle, I like to work with family man, because it shows me that you have a history of being able to accomplish something of a magnitude. You're reliable, because to maintain a family, you have to have certain things that are reliable. So the thing I've been preaching on my channel is that you have to, first and foremost, have a connection with the Almighty. You whatever that is. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Buddhist, you have to be centered from a higher power. Why? You have to be accountable to something higher than yourself.
Sing.
Because yourself will always let yourself down. If you're
Ashaya,
just there, because we're
Ashaya.
human, we're the flesh. So we have to have an anchor that's higher than ourselves. Second, when you seek the Almighty,
Let me
if you're
just run
just
that.
there, because we're human, we're the flesh. So we have to have an anchor that's higher than ourselves. Second, when you seek the Almighty and all the Almighty's righteousness, then you have to identify what is your purpose. What is it that you can do to use your unique skill or talent to serve in service of that higher power to make the world a better place? Why is that important? Because as a man leading a family, you are called to lead. If you do not have a clear compass of what you're trying to do for yourself in service to your creator, how can you lead somebody else? How can you ask a young lady to follow you blindly when you yourself don't know what you're doing and where you're going? That's a recipe for disaster. And this is what has happened to many of our brethren. Because this girl, as the prophet said, had a big butt and a smile, you go follow this woman and you create life. You know what I mean? But you had no plan other than the big butt and the smile made you feel happy within that moment. Now we have these families with no direction. It's chaos. There's no lion guarding the pride. We have an epidemic of child molestation, trauma at record highs because there's no defense. So as a brethren, you have to understand that if you're serious about Black liberation, the biggest contribution that you can have is to maintain, protect, provide for a Black family. And to do that, you have to be crystal clear. I tell young brethren, spend your 20s identifying that purpose, fulfilling that purpose. The next thing is that you have to identify what is the economics of my purpose. This is the key, because in the Pan-African movement, we've made poverty a badge of honor. The more poor you are is the more righteous you are, because I don't get money and think. I've had people say, look at the Ras, I do YouTube and I talk about, you know, and I'm saying, so brethren, you know, His Majesty was a businessman. Rastafari was never conceived as a poverty trad. So, you know, these are the false concepts. And that is something that I am very clear in my ecosystem model that I advocate for. Failure is a part of the process. We have to train ourselves. In His Majesty, I've been doing a series on leadership, and I go to the University College of Addis Ababa speech. His Majesty gives a treatise on leadership, page 12 of the selected speeches. I'm the reading Ras, so I'm gonna give them the citation. The leadership, you know, it says a leader must train himself out of a fear of failure, because that's part of the process. Does a baby come out the womb and start run up and down? The baby have to crawl, the baby fall down, the baby, you know, before it can walk. So anything we do, failure, we gotta allocate a time for failure. And this is why, again, practice and theory, that's the theme of this interview. the theoretical people have the most chat, because on the sideline everything works. You know what I mean? Once you're just criticizing what a man is doing, everything sounds good. And when you try to implement and you reach that roadblock and you have to do this and do that, I put on events, and a lot of time people will criticize. They don't know what you had to go through to get that done. Why are you working with this person? Because this person was going to do what I said that needed to be done, and this person, you might like them, but they're not coming through. So it's either I'm not going to do the event, or I'm going to do it with someone who can fulfill the obligation. So as a man, you know what I mean? You have to have that integrity to be able to lead. And again, this comes down to your purpose, having that anchor so that you can draw from, because mental health is serious. And the burden of leading a family for a Black male right now is unprecedented, because oftentimes you can't unload on your woman. You know, a man, that's not the woman's purpose. And I'm not saying you can't consult, but you can't dump on them. So you have to find other outlets, whether it's prayer, exercise, a therapist. But as a man, you have to really manage your mental health, and you have to, and part of that is, again, having that connection to the higher power and being very clear in terms of what it is you are doing to serve that creator by utilizing your innate passion. That means, what would you be doing even if you weren't being paid? Now, how can I monetize? How can I find the economics? Establishing an economic base before you bring the woman into the picture is critical. And this is where we fail, because instant gratification. Your light is going to draw women to you. That doesn't mean you have to sleep with them and bring life into the world. We have a thing called D-discipline. You know, dick discipline. I don't know how graphic we can go, but you know what I mean? Dick discipline, which is critical, because who you procreate with will shift the entire reality of your world if you choose the wrong person. I'm very big advocate on vetting your people that you allow into your intimate space thoroughly. So the one night stand in I&I world don't exist, because you can't get enough information on a person in a one night scenario. I go to the dance and me and a sister rent a tile, and the two away a bubble, and our vibes are going and whisper in our ears, and you know, stop it right there, brethren. Don't bother with it, because guess what happened? That chemistry might only be for that night. That sister may have a completely different worldview, but when you deposit that seed of life in that sister that night there, because you couldn't find a condom and the vibes, it's still higher. You know what I mean? And a life is created. Now, guess what? You have something that can't work. Sister gone deso, you gone deso, sister baby, father from another family, his brother, uncle so and so is with your youth now. Things go on and you traumatized, confusion. You understand? The lion is not there, the male lion is not there for govern his pride land, his territory. You know what I mean? And this is how we have to think about it. So everything is about legacy, preservation of seed. And let me just elaborate more. Right now is Armageddon time. So we saw what happened in the pandemic. If you had chosen wrongly in that pandemic, judgment, because you were locked down with someone. And it's crucial, because again, this is the revolution. Your family is the first government. You are the king, and your house is the palace. So if your government internally is not good, you know, the trauma response is flight or fight or flight. So when we try to build institutions and everybody walk away from the table, that's a trauma response. When we get to a bump in the road, and it's because of people's home upbringing, they avoid that conflict instead of working through it, which is a natural part of any organization building. So this is why we have so few Black institutions, because we operate from that trauma response, or we fight. You look at a lot of Black institutions, the infighting. Other races, it's not that they love each other to the highest extent, but it's that they understand the bigger picture. They're able to work through conflict, through a system, and get the ultimate objective done. And this is coming from what? Broken family structure. So we can't even build this Edenic alternative to Babylon, this Zion on earth that Rastafari achieved. This is why so much of my content become family content, because I realize We can talk about the history all day. We can talk about what we want to do all day. If we don't have stable people to execute this or to live in this new reality, the same Babylon corruption is going to manifest once again, because Babylon comes out of that corruption. It comes out of that dysfunction of the family structure. It comes out of that hurt, of that abuse. These are all of the things that we hate about Babylon. It is a response to a way of life, and we have to restore that original way of life, which is why Haile Selassie, being crowned with his empress at the same time, is so revolutionary. His empress was pregnant at the time. So when you see that coronation picture, man, woman, and child, you know, the children surrounding the throne as well for added effect. That trinity is what we have to advocate for and we have to preserve with our lives. So this is what I want to kind of redefine, because we had people like Robert Nesta Marley, the great, but you know, the levity that he had was a lot of women. And then we had the great King Solomon, levity he had. And these are two examples that a lot of brethren use to justify having a lot of baby mothers or a lot of women around. Number one, I'm big up to Dr. Aini Naya Bingi Elder. Polygamy is a rich man lifestyle. So if you can be in that small 1% of the 1% that can afford to manage all of these households, don't bother with it. And there's a methodology and a culture that comes with polygamy. It's not this baby mother don't know about that baby mother there. And you know, oftentimes the wife is the one that's choosing the other wives and things. So there's a culture around that. So we can't use that. Secondly, His Majesty example with Empress Menen was a monogamous relationship. One man, one woman, the children all under one roof. This is the standard that we are really trying to identify for Rastafari, brethren and sistren. And the generations that came before us did not have that standard. And I've seen, you know, because I've had to deal with, you know, fundraising from multiple elders that pass away and their children are not involved because they weren't in their children's life to that full extent. And, you know, the community ends up having to bear the burden and these things that happen from that spreading of the seed widely, which sounded good in theory, but in practice, again, that trauma is dispersed because there's resentment from the children who didn't grow up with a father in the household. Yes, you might have gone to see them. Yes, you might have bought them an Air Jordan for their 8th birthday, and you remember that fondly, how them did smile. But that one Jordans where you buy them can't make up for all of the time that you were not present. And a lot of us in the Caribbean, that's our mentality. We buy them some nice things and we're there for them sometime, but that doesn't take away a child's hurt from not being there with a father in the home. So we want to, my generation in particular, the brethren I see prospering right now are the brethren that have their queen and their families under one roof, and that their queens are helping them to build. I live that way, and I want to encourage my brethren them to adopt this as the Rastafari standard moving forward, because to build a strong nation, we have to start with strong communities. To build a strong community, it starts with strong Black families.
All the nights you spent alone at the crib.
At the top of the hour, we shall be having our Dr. Jacob, Dr. Oliver, Grand Risings family, Grand Risings. Live your day in peace. Peace is our nature.
That I see you. And if you never done that before, know that I say you. I know you got finals in a couple days, yeah. Still somehow you gotta get your rent paid. Got more bills than money. I don't mean to sound funny. Keep running, baby. Yeah, I see you.
Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Until we meet again, yeah? Peace is our nature. One.
First, let me say to you, I cannot wait to see you. You are the treasure I've been waiting for. Do you know how much I really need you? I dey pray for the day when I can finally kiss you. You know, say everything I pray for you. Oh, in my heart there's a permanent place for you. That's why my heart is a beat like do bad. Now you are true, so I am happy. I sing for you, wanna be like you do bad. Baby, now you are the people, I am happy. But there you go. See, I may not give the word to you, but I'll give you what I have. Oh, baby, oh, you are my angel. Oh, do you like me? Shall you not say every day I pray for you? Oh, in my heart, there's a perfect place for you. That's why my heart is a beat like do bad. Now you are true, so I am happy. I sing for you, wanna be like you do bad. Baby, now you are the people, I am happy. Only for you, it'll be like I sing for you, my baby, oh, baby, oh. Do I am very, oh, you baby, see me now.
Once upon a time, I almost lost my mind. I was lonely, so lonely. Once upon a time, hoping every day things would go my way. Then you came into my life. Now everything is fine. I never knew what love could do till I met you. Now everything is oh so cozy. Now my skies are blue, all because of you. I'm so glad I was lonely.